Hello again. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys the scoreboard. Now with the scoreboard, it's very similar to keeping track of lives, keeping track of power-ups, keeping track of, I don't know, hearts or whatever you're doing in your project. It's the same type of way in Greenfoot. So let me show you how to put together a scoreboard. So a scoreboard is, and let me make sure I didn't break my project. To create a scoreboard is an actor. So it's another actor in this class. So if I go new subclass, I'm going to change it. I'm going to make one called scoreboard. Yeah, use camel casing with that. Nothing as far as symbols or anything like that needs to go in it. So I'm going to do the scoreboard. With the scoreboard, you're going to add a score. So what you need to do is you need to create an encapsulated score. So I'm going to go private int score. So I'm going to add that to as an instance variable because that's what we keep track of on a scoreboard. And then I'm going to create a constructor. So with the constructor, you use public, and then as with any constructor, you got to put scoreboard. And then the initial score is always 0, so I don't think I need to add any variables there to build my constructor. It's going to be a 0 argument constructor, so no parameters in there. We're going to set the score equal to 0. Now, if this were lives, you may want to put a parameter in for how many lives they're getting. Or you just set their default lives to 10 or 3 or whatever you're doing. So score equals 0. And next thing you need to do is do some getters and setters for this. So I am going to need to get the score and set the score. So let's go ahead and do that. So how we do setters and getters, you go public int get score, because sometimes you're adding the previous score to the new score and you need to get the old score to do that. And then a getter is just this. You just return score, which you guys should have learned in Code HS. And then you're going to set the score, but let's, instead of setting the score, let's go ahead and add score. So we'll go public void add score. I mean, you could set the score too, but let's go ahead and add the score. Int points. We may change that later. I may change that later if you guys need it as a requirement. But you can also do a set score and get the previous score, add the new score, and set that to the current score. Next. So, add source, add score, score plus equals points. So what this is going to do is add points, however many points, to the new score and update it up here. Now, with the Greenfoot side of things, you need to be able to add the score to the screen. So to do that, we need to update our screen or update our image of the score. So I'm going to go public void update image. Let me put parentheses in that. All right. Now, with this, you're going to use Greenfoot. Bless me. All right. Image img equals new Greenfoot image. And we're going to set the score. I'm going to create it as score here, plus score. So our variable up, our instance variable score. And that's just string formatting. So you do the string score, you create a space there, and then you have score. And we're passing that in as a Greenfoot image. 24, so the size, the font size, color, and we're going to make the color white. I think Greenfoot has some predetermined colors. New color 0, 0, 0, 150. I'm going to put some spaces here just for clarity. It's a good habit to give yourself some space between parentheses so you can count them. So when I'm passing in an argument, then I have the parentheses here on the outside. If I give myself some space, it's easier to see them. And then Java doesn't count white space like Python does, so you're good. And then after you do that, then you have to take this variable img and you have to set that image to the screen. So set image img, and that places it on the screen. Oops, sticky keys. I held it down too long. All right, compile that, looks good. The next thing I want to do when I add a score, I want to update the image. I don't want to update it constantly. I don't want it blinking on the screen. I just want to update it once and let it go. So this refreshes the display. And then maybe we want to refresh it or show it when it starts. Oops. Update it. All right. Compile that. And then if I run this, I don't think it's going to do anything until I create an object of my score inside of my world. So let's go over to our world. And then inside of our world, I need to create an instance variable. And that instance variable is going to be my scoreboard. So I need to go private scoreboard. Scoreboard. Private scoreboard. And now I have a scoreboard object I can start editing. So I'm going to create an instance of that inside of my space constructor here. That creates an instance of it. And then I have to add it to the screen in some way. So I'm going to go add object, scoreboard, and then what location I want it. 70 by 20 is a good location. It's right up in the corner there. So if I compile this and then I refresh that and then I run it, you can see the score is right there. But there's nothing happening with the score because I'm not updating the score as I'm catching objects. So we have to do that next. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll probably do that wherever we catch the object. So when we remove the object, I want to add the score. So how do I do that? Scoreboard. Maybe I'll get the scoreboard with the world. So let me go back to the world. And then I'll create a method here where I can get the instance variable scoreboard. So let's create a getter to get the scoreboard from the world. So public scoreboard or get scoreboard. Copy. Now I'll just type get paste scoreboard, and then we'll return the scoreboard here. So now anytime I get the world, like I did in the interceptor class, so if I go back to the interceptor class and I come over here, when I get my world, space, I can actually update my scoreboard that way. So if I go space dot, and then I go control space, I should be able to get scoreboard. So I can get the scoreboard, and now that I have the scoreboard, I have all the methods with the scoreboard too. So the scoreboard class, which means I have access to add scoreboard. And how many points am I going to add? Well, I'm going to add 1 point when I get that object. So let's compile this, or you could add 10 points or whatever, but I'm just going to do 1 right now. So reset that, run that. Now every time I get 1, I'm updating the score. And that's how that works. So have fun with that, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess, or in class.